I am Kimberly Trapani, executive producer of All Consuming Filming. It's been a very long time since I did a show by myself, and it's been, I gotta tell you, very difficult for all consuming filming in the past couple of days because drug addiction is close to my heart, and I lost friends and family members along the way. And the issue is with the last couple of days because we have family members that have business colleagues that are on trial right now. They're on trial for some controversial murder. And I lost Ed Asner and Mark Rydell. They were very special to me. So I gotta tell you, in the last couple of days, I'm having trauma and pain and trying to cope with the situation at hand. The entire universe is going crazy, and gotta tell you, the entire universe is very, very difficult with what is happening right now in the world. I'm full of words, and I am full of words because the responsibilities of having a film company and me being basically a president of an owner of a film company is the situation right now. So it's on me, folks, and it's on all consuming filming to tell you not to do drugs, don't sex traffic, and abuse is not okay. But I'm pretty choked up about losing my producer friends right now. And the situation is this: if you basically are in this film business, it's not the same as it was 10 years ago. Everything's online streaming. We're in front of a computer. We gotta it's not the best camera anymore. It's the best computer to film our messages. And we have filmed on Reds. We filmed on Panasonics and Sonys. I've worked on them all over the years, and I'm a little choked up and emotional about my friends that are passing away due to drugs and alcohol. And I know some of my business colleagues are in the media right now because they have drug addictions and alcohol issues. And I can tell you one thing: I've been asked on the streets if I'm on drugs, and we aren't going to answer that question other to say, I have released like a lot of money for drug films. I've been in drug films, and the situation, I got a hair. Too bad, right? The situation is that I have compassion to a point of people that have used. It's a very addictive brain disorder, and when they cross the line and ask people for money to do drugs, that's where I draw the line in the sand. And your friends and family members of you people with brain disorders are like wanting to pull their hair out with the situation at hand, which is the situation at hand is that it's a very addictive brain disorder, and you can make a fool out of yourself and embarrass your family, and then you want more money to use, and you think everybody owes you a favor. And people will point out to you that you need to get off drugs and nag you and that kind of thing because you're making yourself and look like you're out of control. And it's very draining, and it's for a family member to see addiction. It's very draining for someone to have to cope with a loved one staying on drugs, and it sucks the living life and hell out of the person watching the addict use, and it's embarrassing socially. And never mind the money part of it, because $10 is not going to be enough because you want to use more and more and more. And you'll go and steal money and cash and burn your relationships with your loved ones because you're sucking the living life out of them. I am not seeing the vision here. I'm not seeing the path about how it is that somebody can stay on drugs for too long, because basically you're going to either burn all your bridges, steal money from your relatives, look like an idiot in public, or die an overdose. What is the good thing coming out of this? I don't know. And I'm not judging you, I promise. I'm not judging the people that have overdosed and died on drugs. I'd be a hypocrite if I was judging you. But there's kids on the streets on bikes. You could like run them over with your drunken, idiotic state, or you're under the influence because you're high on drugs. And so I can tell you, I don't know what it's like to be high. I haven't chose that path. So I don't even understand this marijuana thing right now. I'm not understanding it because it leads to a path of other drugs, and everybody says, oh, marijuana is not a gateway drug. Okay, whatever, have at it. But don't drive. Don't go pump gas high. Whatever. I can tell you the last 12 years of my life, because I've lost a family member due to drugs, has been a living fucking nightmare. It's been hell. Nobody cares either. So, nobody cares. They think since one family member's on drugs, it's going to be the whole entire friends and family network. So, I I can tell you from experience, friends, that I'm not seeing the vision here. I've gotten into conversations with people that say, "Oh, we legalize marijuana." I it's not a win-win conversation. It's like politics, Democrats and Republicans. What's the worst of the two evils and the better? Uh, it's a conversation I hate having because I have one opinion and the law has another, and the rest of the world thinks they're gonna go get high on marijuana and then go drive a car and pump gas. At this point in my life, never partied in college. I worked really, really hard for my grades and my career, and I never chose that path to just let loose and go to orgies and drugs parties. It wasn't something I ever wanted to pursue. It wasn't fun for me. And my sister used to say, Kimberly, don't go driving a car around if you're going to drink for the night. So my sister, I was very close with her, and she was a lawyer in New York State, a very prominent one, mind you. And she had amazing clients, like they were like high profile clients and everything. And it was awesome to see her all the time until the last couple of years before she died. But I didn't cope with and grieve with the pain that I had from my sister's death by going out and getting high or drinking alcohol. That's not how I coped at all. But I definitely not perfect, but I didn't cope that way. So I don't know, I don't understand why people choose these paths. That your addictive brain, you can't get out of it. You have to go back to rehab 17 times. You have to burn bridges with your family members. You have to lie to them. And then there's a way to get money and not a way to get money. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. And it's not just in the entertainment business, although I would love to know one actor or actress who hasn't tried a drug in their life. Raise your hand. Hit me up on KimberlyACFTrapani.com on the contact page. But I have to tell you, um, you're not going to get people off of drugs and alcohol by nagging them. It won't work. That's definitely not a resolution to this issue. I feel so much pain, and my heart is breaking in pieces for all of the people that are relatives of drug addicts right now, because this system is really, really broken. And I've worked with Biden and Trump too, and I've talked to them a little bit about my thoughts on drug recovery. And I've never seen a system in my entire adult life that has been this bad. It's terrible. It's broken. This court system is so awful. They don't care. Have you ever gone down to a court and just said hi? It's absolutely a waste of your time. I would rather stick needles in my eyes than ever go to a trial. Anyway, I miss Mark Rydell tremendously. He used to call me on the phone all the time. I miss all the circle of friends surrounding Mark Rydell. And Ed Asner and I were a day apart. So Ed and Mark and I, my heart's broken. It's in pieces. I'm at a loss for words right now with the situation, paired with the murder trial of my family member's business supplier. I just, I'm not laughing. If I didn't, if I didn't giggle, I'd be crying, and I am crying inside for this world. Although, I gotta tell you, we are August 17th, 2026, so we're gonna be voting for another governor at some point, and I gotta take this. Hi, David! Oh, it's going, it's going. How's it going with you? Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted you to hear. I didn't want you to hear about Mark Rydell on social media. We, yeah, we knew it was coming, David, but it's not. It's I didn't want it. I found out on social media. I didn't want everybody else to find out on social media. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I'll give to you a phone call towards the end of the week. I'm a little choked up right now. I don't even know what to say at this moment. But yeah, yeah. I'm just a little. I just miss Mark so much, and the whole time with him that day in Pasadena Library. I just miss him so much. So, anyway, I will get back to you by the end of the week. All right, David. You stay strong. Take care. Bye. So, David Lockhart played Tom Cruise in the movie Senior Entourage. You can see that on Tubi, and Lockhart is a friend of mine. And the day I met Mark Rydell, not to sidetrack on the addiction thing, but the day I met Mark Rydell, David Lockhart, it was there, and he arranged a ride for me back to Los Angeles where I was going. He was super sweet and loving and kind, and that's the way the whole team was that I met on set and in introducing them in film festivals and everything. I They were all very kind and loving and gracious, and someday Brian Connors can tell you the story about getting Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie. That's a conversation for another time. But Miriam Ross and Helen Reddy and Mark Rydell and Ed Asner were all good friends, and I danced around film festivals for a while and worked with worked on some very good projects with Mark and Ed, introducing them. I was the greeter. I call myself. I did Q&A one day in a film venue, And somebody asked me a question and I wasn't sure about the answer. So I had to answer tough questions about the filmmaking for Mark Rydell and Ed Asner. And we also kicked off Good Health Hunting. And Frank Biden was in that TV pilot series. Hi, Frank. We reached out to Joe and Hunter to try to give you a resolution, Frank, to Joe's issues. So you can hit me up anytime. My contact forms online, Kimberly, ACF, Trapani.com. That's Joe Biden. uh, so anyway, I am not going to win the Democratic versus Republican argument. I'm not going to win the argument with the marijuana thing. I just don't see the purpose in getting high. I just don't see the purpose in what it does to family members of addicts. I don't see the purpose of getting high. I hope that's clear. I don't see the purpose. I didn't choose it for my life, and I'm not going to choose it in the future. So, being a middle aged woman and having a film company, I remember when I met Mark Rydell. Mark Rydell, I still have his audition on the phone. He was the nicest person in film ever. He was the most gracious person in film. I've seen a lot of douchebags in this film industry. You know who you are. And I have the pain in the ass list. You know who you are. A pain in the ass. But Mark, not that way at all. Mark was a kind, loving, sweet, amazing, wonderful person. And when I went to California, I'll tell you a story real quick. I stay at this one hotel. I'm not going to tell you which one. And I try to stay low on the radar. So I'm pretending I'm not like a producer in film, just like a everyday person. So I went by the pool and I had a bathing suit on. And some guy walks up to me with his camera phone. He goes, "You want to see what she looks like in a bikini?" And he just started taking pictures. "Here you go." And walks away. I'm like, really? So I always said I wasn't going to do a film with my clothes on. So the whole thing with Trump Line was, is she naked in that tub? It was like this big controversial thing. And I'm like sitting here going, okay, well, which bikini should I wear in the tub? So I decided that I would wear a bikini, a suitable bikini for the tub scene in Trump Line. So I did. So we wanted to make sure I looked like I didn't have a bikini on. But I did have a bikini on in that one scene. So I decided when I had to do a music video, I was gonna just show off my bathing suits because another time I was by a pool. It's always by the pool. Somebody goes, "Can't she buy a new swimsuit?" And I felt like saying, "What the heck are you talking about? I have like a dozen bathing suits in my drawer." And so I did this music video with a bunch of different bathing suits just to have fun with it. And so, maybe to prove my clothes were on and jump a line. But the full length movie. And you can see my movies with the distributor. They're on 7 platforms: Roku, RME, Amazon Plus, your Fire TV, your iPhone, Apple TV, your laptop. If you have any questions about how to download my movies, hit me up on Kimberly ACF Trapani.com. And again, I'm not judging your addictions. I'm not judging you as family members. However, I can tell you my message is I see no purpose in getting high in America or anywhere in the world. And then I don't see a purpose in getting high and then going to drive down the road to run over kids. So I hope that answers your question for today. Be safe. God bless. See you soon on air. And this is a little clip of Truth Matters.
Somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, we'll meet again. It won't be on this side of life or death. And I wish you could be here with me, but I'm okay. I'll see you in heaven someday.
For all the non-believers,
where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time.
the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He making me to lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside the still waters. He restore my soul. He lead me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, but thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles.
Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time.
It's either heaven or hell, it's either freedom or jail. Either you blessed or you cursed when you rotted in that hearse. You better put him first. It's either heaven or hell, it's either freedom or jail. Either you blessed or you cursed when you rotted in that hearse. You better put Jesus first.
Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time. Where would you go when your eyes finally close? For the very last time, for the very last time.
When you lying in that casket, face look like plastic. Always scary, gotta ask it. Is your soul up in the heavenly basket? Is your soul up in the heavenly basket? That's the question.